Welcome, everyone. I'm Christina Lurch, and I am co-chair with Elizabeth O'Rourke of the Village of Mamaroneck Arts Council. We are pleased to welcome you to the 23rd annual celebration of Poetry Live. This year is a testament both to the artistic talent of our students and how much our program has grown. In 2001, we had under 20 students, and today we are thrilled to have 55 poets sharing their words. Additionally, we would like to extend a warm welcome to Scarsdale Middle School. Your teacher, Rebecca Streeter, participated when she was a student at Hummocks. And she asked if her students at Scarsdale could be included in the annual celebration. So we're so happy to have you here. The success of Poetry Live began with the vision of our beloved Mary Louise Cox, a poet and artist. Mary Louise hoped that poetry making could be seen as a craft available to anyone who felt the draw to arrange words in a way that expressed their wonder, their experience of life, even just if it's just a slice. Thank you, student poets, for your courage to create and for your further courage to share. Poetry Live is made possible by the Village of Mamaroneck, its Board of Trustees, and the Arts Council. Our village has a long tradition of supporting the arts, for which we are all proud beneficiaries. We would like to always express our deep gratitude to Trustee Nora Lucas, who serves as our liaison to the Arts Council, and who helps to keep us organized, informed, and focused. Thank you, Nora. I would also like to extend a thank you to Marina Kiriakou and Jane Dorian, who are the co-chairs of this event. And year after year, it is a seamless afternoon of celebrating the written word of our students. So thank you for all of your orchestration. Before we proceed, if everybody could turn off their cell phones and their watches and all of the things that beep, that would be wonderful. And now Elizabeth, my co-chair, is going to walk us through the next part of our program.
This is so exciting. It's one of my favorite events. And I do just want to echo what Christina said, especially to the student readers. It is a true act of courage to write and then to decide to share. It's a gift to us. So thank you for writing, thank you for sharing, and please continue to do so. It's so needed. I'm here to introduce our special guests this afternoon. Our first special guest is Melissa Joplin Higley. We are proud to introduce the Village new author laureate, Melissa Joplin Higley. Melissa is the author of the poetry chapbook First Father through Bottle Cap Press, a 2023 Best of the Net nominee. Her poems appear or are forthcoming in Body, Feral, Mare, The Night Heron Barks, Sleet Magazine, Whale Road Review, Writer's Digest, and elsewhere. She holds an MFA from Sarah Lawrence College and co-facilitates the Poetry Craft Collective, which is a generative workshop focusing on both writing and craft. Melissa lives in Mamaroneck, New York, with her multi-generational family and her 4 tuxedo cats. Melissa joins us to speak about her term initiatives and to share a piece of her own. Welcome, Melissa.
Hello. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that introduction, and thank you to the Arts Council. This appointment is meaningful to me to be able to serve this community that embraces poetry, celebrates poetry, and I am excited to carry that forward over the next 2 years. My signature initiative is Poetry Walks, where we will be gathering young people in the various natural spaces of our community and creating original poetry based on our observations and inspirations And I hope to see many of you at those. We're going to start with our first event on April 30th at the Poetry Garden, where we'll be creating poetry in the garden and then moving to the library, where we'll paint some more of those beautiful poetry pebbles for our garden. And then we look to expand into the schools and the summer camps and nature centers around the community. So look out for poetry walks, and I hope to see you at some of those events. I decided to share a poem for the anthology. It's an Ars Poetica, which you probably know is a poem about writing poetry. I had come across a quote that I used as the epigraph. It's from William Stafford, who was a prolific poet, wrote every day, amassed tens of thousands of pages of writing. He also was a long-time celebrated teacher, and he often told his students, this is the quote for the epigraph, if you are writing and you get stuck, lower your standards and keep going. And of course, he doesn't mean our standards like how good we're going to be as artists, but in that initial creation, it's really important to let go of all those nagging thoughts and the expectations and the pressures that we put on ourselves to be great. The greatness can come later through revision and craft, but just get those words down. So this is called How to Write a Poem. The nature of ink is to flow, a flood of black, pooling dark during lapses in thought, bleeding through thin spots of paper where the nib ripped a hole to the underside. I follow impulse to its natural conclusion, one line, then another. And when doubt stills my hand, I lower my standards as instructed and keep going. I turn off the naysayer, the nagging distractions. I drop the musty costume of the already known, stand naked before the mirror and look, no, really look, at the moles, birthmarks, scars, burst capillaries, spider veins, blue worming vessels winding necessarily through. I trace each line with gentle fingertips, stained black by ink, remind myself this too can be enough. Thank you. I look forward to hearing your words.
Thank you, Melissa. We are delighted to have you on board for the next few years, teaching and sharing. Our next guest is the Poet Laureate for Westchester County. So we are honored to have with us this afternoon Felicia Villanueva, who has been named Poet Laureate for Westchester. Felicia is a Belizean-American poet, author, and cultural activist. She is a teaching artist for Arts Westchester, a member of the Jazz and Poetry Choir Collective, and Tesoro, an international women's poet collective. Felicia's written work focuses on identity, colorism, inherited trauma, resilience, women's empowerment, Black culture, and mysticism. She co-founded the Yonkers Writing Group and, as a teen, founded the first teen open mic in downtown Yonkers that lasted 5 years. Currently, Felicia is pursuing her Master of Fine Arts degree in poetry at St. Francis College while serving as a board advisor and chairperson for the Blue Door Art Center membership committee in Yonkers. During her term as Poet Laureate, Felicia aims to organize ekphrastic writing workshops where participants create pieces that communicate with and interact with visual art. She also plans to offer poetry slams and open mic events to the county. Please join me in welcoming Felicia.
Great day, poets. How are you guys feeling? Energy. Let me hear some energy. Round of applause for yourselves. Like, A round of applause. It is a complete honor to be sharing space with you young people. You all are amazing. And, sorry, because I wrote a little something for you guys. To be here speaking with you guys today is an answered prayer. Your voices that I'm so looking forward to listening to is a gift. And I'm so proud of you guys. I encourage you to never underestimate the impact of your words, the enchantment of your sound, and the significance of your stories. Your creativity has the potential to definitely make a difference in the world. And I say that because when I was 16, quick story time. When I was 16, I fell in love with poetry, went to a program in the city called Urban Word, NYC. I'm an Urban Word alumni. And there was no poetry programming in Yonkers. I'm from Yonkers. So I would go into the city with my Urban Word poetry friends, and we would go to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Raise your hand if you know about the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. All right, there's a couple of you guys here. So I'd go there, and I'm 16, and it's like on a Wednesday night slam, and I'm coming home really late. And it's a bus and a train, and I'm coming home after 12, and I got school the next day. And my mom is like, you can't do this anymore. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a good kid. I just want to do poetry with my friends. And she's like, okay, well, you're going to have to figure it out because it needs to be more local. A couple of months later, I decide to volunteer at an art gallery. And it's at this art gallery that I noticed they have a poet in resident. I'm like, oh, who is she? She ends up being incredible, a mentor of mine. But she does a poetry reading, and it really bombed. And I was like, oh, well, I can't really bring my friends here and say, hey, guys, I got a spot. But I spoke to the executive director at the time, Arlie Sklar-Weinstein, and this was my first opportunity in leadership. I was like, hey, I will cover everything. My mom is my #1 supporter. She will buy all the snacks, okay? I just need a space. And she was like, yeah. So it was a teen open mic for a little while. But then something that is so beautiful about poetry is that poetry is for the people. So it ended up being a teen open mic to a community open mic, a family invited thing, and it made all the difference. And I am so proud to be on the board of this little gallery that could, Blue Door Art Center in Yonkers, because I'm on the board, and I get to still see this open mic still be a staple in the community. And it's something that I didn't realize when I was a young person that it needed to be done, right? I didn't realize how radical that was. Oh, well, there's no poetry thing in my community. Well, I'll be the one to make it. Like, who says that? Who decides to... Who decides to, say, okay, this is what we need, and I'm going to be the one to do it. So when you guys start developing into the leader you want to be, there's like two things I want to say. Is one, that sometimes when you're a leader, it doesn't always mean that you have followers. Sometimes when you're a leader, it means you go first. Okay? And there's not a path, but you go first because you can see it. Or better yet, it's needed. And then once you get there and once you clear the path, everyone is like, okay, well, we see it. And you're like, okay, well, now it's time to work, right? The other thing, do the work. The work works. And one more thing, and I'm going to read you guys a poem, is that we were not born to fail. So when you're going through your journey, use poetry as a vessel, use it as a tool to get through and navigate through everything you're going through, whether it's figuring out who you want to be or navigating this thing with your best friend that's feeling kind of icky right now, or maybe trying to figure out how you feel about things that's happening in the world. Use writing to navigate all those things because you were not born to fail. Even when you feel like, you've been down for a little while or something's not going your way, it's gonna go your way. It's gonna go your way. It may not just happen when you want it to, but it's gonna go your way. You guys were not born to fail, and I'm so excited to listen to your poetry. There's so many of you guys here. I'm going to read this poem here. This is called Pantoum for My Trauma. Pantoum is a really fun form. It's just a whole bunch of repeating lines. And it disappeared on my device. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit because it's a very long poem. What I know for sure, trauma is a ghost, mad at the audacity you decided to make a safe home out of your body. What I know for sure, trauma is a ghost, mad at the audacity. Trauma is a monster Tonka truck. What I know for sure, triggers are blinding. Trauma is a monster Tonka truck with triggers for high beams. Triggers are blinding. Make a deer out of me. With triggers for high beams, it tasted like debris and glass. Make a deer out of me. Trauma comes in the form of a joke. It tasted like debris and glass. This body no longer holds space for jokes about itself. Trauma comes in the form of a joke. It tastes like mouthful of pillow. This body can no longer hold space for jokes about itself. It tastes like for emergencies only. It tasted like mouthful of pillow. It tastes like mute tears. It tastes like for emergencies only. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Felicia. That was invigorating and touching, and thanks for sharing with us. We're going to move on to the student portion of our program, and we have a delightful MC for that. I'm going to introduce Diane Sarna. Diane Sarna is an English teacher at Fox Lane High School in Bedford, New York, and she has taught there for the past 25 of her 37-year teaching career. In addition to teaching at Fox Lane, she advises the Creative Writing Club. Her hope is to provide as many opportunities as possible for young writers to learn, to publish, and to be heard. She is also the coordinator for the annual Young Authors Conference hosted by Northern Westchester and Putnam BOCES. In her not-so-free time, she volunteers for several organizations, including building homes in developing countries for Bridges to Community, supporting educational and environmental projects in India and Africa through GraceWorks, and providing therapeutic art events to communities who have experienced tragedy through Hearts of Hope. So please welcome Diane Sarna, and we're looking forward to hearing you.
You thought I was going to come in a walker, didn't you? So, yes, I have been teaching a long time. I'm not a poet laureate, but I'm so excited to have met two today. So thank you to both of you. And actually, it's my lucky week. I met our nation's poet laureate. I even got a signed copy of her book this week to kick off. This is National Poetry Month, in case you didn't know. Yes, April. And so I went and I heard Ada Limon speak down in New York City. Now, little known fact. She actually recently worked with NASA to send one of her poems up in space. guys, that means it could be you one day, right? You could be the next one to send a poem up in space. So I just thought that was really cool. 3 poets laureate in 1 week. And now I get to introduce some younger poets, but the whole world is in front of you. So we're going to talk a little bit about logistics. I'll call one school at a time up here, and you can line up behind your teacher or teachers, and you'll be called up to the mic one at a time to read your poem. Stay up in the line until everyone has read, and then you can all head down together and relax while other students go through this, okay? So we're so excited for you. Now, if you're a parent, put your hand up. Let me see where the parents, ooh, look how many, everyone. Turn around and look. All right. If you are a friend or neighbor, put your hand up. Friends and neighbors, ooh, look at that. All right. If you're a student, put your hand up. Ooh, nice. Nice, 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 nice. If you're going to race home and watch the rest of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship, put your hand up. I just wanted to make sure, thank you so much for being here, because I know for some of you, that's a really big deal. So poetry matters, right? We celebrate our athletes. Let's make sure we celebrate our poets. All right, so yeah, that definitely. All right, so I'm first going to call up Mamaroneck Middle School, and Jenny Thiel will be introducing her students.
Hello, my name's Jenny Thiel, and I'm going to be introducing some of the best students that Mamaroneck has produced this year because of their imagery and their words and their gift of expression. 2 of them in particular blew me away, and I couldn't decide which poem, so I chose both. So that's why there are not 8 behind me, but 6. And our first presenter today, hold on, I'm just going to go to our page, because I promised them I would, will be Sylvia Russo.
My poem is called The Pursuit on the Mediterranean. Thank you. I reach for my knife and spark it against a piece of flint. The spark lingers on the wick of the oil flame. I watch the fire flicker, watch it reflect on the dark blue ocean below my boat. The water holds the secrets of people who set sail from the coast of the village to search for themselves, maybe in Paris or London. The full moon casts light and shadows on the waves, which the imagination twists into mermaid scales, or perhaps a sea monster snaking through the seaweed in silence below. Who knows? My fingers trail in the water, lures for the miscreations of the waves. My hand strikes kelp, then coral, then sand. I glance up. The shipwrecked mountain emerges from the blackness. The hull crashes into the mast of an old vessel. The whiplash jerks me from the planks of my deck and into the cold darkness. All is quiet underneath the surface. I open my eyes and see wondrous things, but can't differentiate the real from the fictional. A smile creeps onto my face, for this is what I had searched for all along. As the flame on my boat dies, so do I.
I promise you intensity today. Very intensity. Some a little dark, but that's okay. Joseph Crawford will be next. He'll be presenting 2 poems.
All right. This is Untouched. Twice broken, twice saved. Horseshoe saved from pure chance. A wing from the sky, towering fear to those covered. An animal, unfoldable for the fit of survival. A necessity, the light-drunk creatures never fit for an attack, ping-ponging beasts ready to pounce, the perfect churn of absolute Taoism, twice broken, twice saved by the beauty of untouched civilization. And my next poem is Solidity. Rays of light evaporate as the solid cloud stays. Pools of liquids leach through the solids and into my life, permanently affecting me. Breaths earned forever in danger of disease. My friends are trapped in rings of deaths at the surface. A tangible cessation washed away my tiny shell, overseared by death.
And next will be Landon Jones.
All right, so my poem is called The Night. In the stillness of the night, as the stars twinkle so bright, lies a beauty that's often unseen, a beauty that's found in death so serene. The leaves that once danced on the trees now lay scattered in the autumn breeze. The flowers that bloomed in the spring, now wilted and withered, but still a thing. The colors that once were bold now fade away as time takes its hold. The sun sets on another day, and life slowly fades away. But amid this fading light, there's a beauty that's still in sight. For in death, there's a peacefulness, a stillness that brings us rest. It's a reminder that all things must end, but it's not something that we should fear or pretend. For in the beauty of death, we see that life is a cycle, a continuous journey. So let us embrace this beautiful in death, and cherish each moment until our last breath. For in the stillness of the night, there's a beauty that's found in death so bright.
I love the variety so far, focusing on really good vocabulary, and then we have rhyming. But the next poem, I wanted to explain to you, it's kind of split in half. There are two voices. So when you guys get your anthologies, you can see what I mean. It's a different format and structure. Gabriel Demore.
The title of my poem is Beauty and the Beast. Delicate purple fills the field, offering nectar to bees. Blue skies, hallways painted red, sounds of fireworks fill our ears. The buzzing of bees, the chirping of birds, screams of terror scatter across the air. Boots clunking through the halls, the sweet fragrance of spring, the smell of gunpowder seeps into our noses. Exchanging glances with classmates as we sit in silence. Silence was the loudest sound that day. Alone in a field, stuck in a classroom, feeding life to many things, taking that life away. A beautiful sight, a horrible day, a peaceful flower, a violent school massacre. Columbine. The Columbine High School Massacre, commonly referred to as Columbine, was a school shooting and attempted bombing that occurred on April 20th, 1999, at Columbine High School in Columbine, Colorado, United States. 39 people were shot, 15 of whom would die. Columbine is also the name of a flower, which is purple and white. When people hear the word Columbine, they think of a bad thing, which takes away from the beauty of the flower that held the name before the incident.
Ladies and gentlemen, next will be Alejandro Rios, and he's also very special because I couldn't choose. So he's going to present two. Come on up, Alejandro.
My first poem is titled Moses. The whip's sharp edge hooked onto Lana's skin, cutting deep into her torso. Her agony echoed in the field of weeds. She knelt, folding her body over as tears streamed down to her thigh. Their salty taste crept into the corner of her mouth, her face saturated in the droplets. Her legs quivered as she rose onto her feet. Her scars, abundant in memory, streaked across her leg. She felt nauseous scanning them. The sun peered through the clouds, splitting through the cerulean sky with its rays. Your suffering will end soon, a voice reminded her. Abruptly, a Tunis sung from behind the shrubs. Like birds, the slaves flocked towards the sound. Influenced, Lana hobbled behind them. The sepia dirt sprang as Lana hurtled past it. She collapsed to her knees, her hand to her heart, thanking Tubman. Her suffering would soon end. She was free. Harriet Tubman was a brave and empowering woman. She was an asset to the Underground Railroad, freeing over 70 slaves and earning herself the name Moses. After her work in the Underground Railroad, she assisted wounded soldiers during the Civil War. She also worked as a scout and spy. She was born on March 1822 and died on the 10th of March 1913. She is remembered for her bravery and pluck. My second poem is titled Acres of Awe. The trees, thread-like arms, danced in the morning breeze. The strings stretched into the cerulean sky, inched towards the scintillating sun, bathed in the sun's vibrant rays. Patches of tulips grew over the shortly cut grass, shimmering in the sun's veils of light. Rivers of flowers trailed along the utopia, posies standing poised under nature's spotlight. The alabaster flowers draped beneath the tree's shadow, the tulips' colorful, delicate fabrics, a shroud for the flower center, and a towel for the sky's tears. The scarlet tulips disrupted the daffodils like blood seeping through snow. Thank you.
I love my job. Love it. I love my job. So, ladies and gentlemen, my caboose for the evening is Alexander Salazar, and I promise we will end on a more positive, uplifting note.
Hum, hum, a hummingbird flaps its wings, making a humming noise. Glides towards the south, tulips, daffodils, and crocuses. Flying fast for the scent of food is in the air. He discovers a river of more than 10 colors, 20, 40, 60, 80. A river of nectar, a heaven for a hummingbird, bee, or butterfly. The name of my poem is The River of 100 Colors.
You never disappoint. Thank you, Rhineck. All right, now we have a really big crew coming up, and we're going to break you into two groups, and I believe you know which group you're in. So I'm going to call up Homix Middle School teachers Bernadette Mannion, Lisa Ramos-Hilligers, I apologize if I'm pronouncing a name wrong, Lorraine McCurdy-Little, and Karen Kane. Let's bring up group 1.
It is such a pleasure for me to be here today and to see these students finding their voices in writing. As teachers, we all think a lot about standards and trying to make sure we hit those standards for kids, but poetry brings out in us something else, and that is a desire to teach kids to want to write. That we hope that if they go through tough times, they write then. That if they go through times of connection, they write then. I know on September 11th, I cried, and the next day I wrote. So we're hoping kids find their voices, and this group of middle school students are all 6th graders, some who are still just beginning to find their middle school voice, and that's thrilling. I love my job too. Our first reader is Marlo Kim.
My poem's name is I Am From. I am from lavender and mushrooms. I am from a kitchen that is never quiet. I am from a mother, a father, and grandparents who love me much. I am from smells of kimchi, kaibi, and rice. I am from sounds of classical music, violin, piano, and the songs Grandpa sings. I am from a happy home. I am from something special. I am Marlo.
Our second reader is Catherine Vance.
My poem is called Music. My ears are lost in the land of song, can't get out of it. Making me want to dance, instead I nod my head, my lips move up and down to the beat. Makes me feel on stage, belting out a tune. And then it stops, another song starts, and I'm lost again.
Our next reader is Audrey Famer.
My poem is called Beneath It All. In the hustle and bustle of our lives, we pass so many faces thought to be insignificant. Their smiles bright, laughter loud. Though besotted in their struggles, it's easy to miss them. It's easy to float away. But beneath some of those smiles is somebody grasping on, a facade to shield the tacks and pins that are poking at every turn, every corner of every path. Still they walk by, not a sound. Beneath that veil, though, lies a story untold, a wish unheard. A hoper, a dreamer, a writer, a singer. So much is hidden underneath, and yet nobody thinks to check. There is more than meets the eye. They are strength, they are a path, they are the winds in the willows. They are fire that sways and boasts. It flickers but never diminishes. The brown-haired girl struggling in math class. She is loud, kind, and funny. She has hidden potential, shadowed. She doesn't see it, only her blank page staring back at her. The eager, blue-eyed boy who belittles those smaller. He hides, fears he isn't good enough. He is lonely, though to most he seems confident. But he tries, harder than they know. They do not see they are more than their grades. They do not see they are a star and never shall it fade. But every tile, every sound, every word, it matters. Every line, it comes together. Every wind in the willows. Every ray of sun shining through the window pane. Those faces in the crowd mean more than you'd ever know. Like a lit candle, they burn and they glisten. As elegy, they illuminate the room. They change the structure of the wax forever. Like a thrown pebble, they have rippled the lake for miles to come. And still, they are blind to see how much they matter, but that lake will never be the same.
Our next reader is Ruby Heifetz.
Have you ever wondered what happens deep down in the ocean or on a slumbering volcano that's ready for explosion? Has vast outer space ever triggered your interest? Do you wonder if UFOs and aliens are truly of existence? Does the way the wheel churns and the roar of clouds thunder give you some answers to any of your wonders? We believe our tiny theories are right, so to say, but honestly, should we even think in that way? Should we really question everything we see, hear, or smell, or will our little ideas keep us wondering what more is there to tell?
Our next reader is Ezekiel Gonzalez Duarte. Listen for the Spanish and the English.
My poem is called Mi Mama by Ezekiel Gonzalez. My mom is a cinnamon-colored woman, soft like a pillow on her cozy bed. Mi mamá es una mujer hermosa como un sunset en su isla tropical. My mom is a flower-loving woman. She smells like a blooming flower on her flower bed. Mi mamá tiene los ojos más hermosos en el mundo, como los océanos. La quiero mucho.
Our next reader is Delphine Dici.
The Struggle Within by Delphine Dici. Life bothers me with its sudden demands, pulling me in many directions, dragging me down with its many expectations. It whispers in my ear, learn more, be more, achieve greatness, or else you're a failure. It fills my mind with endless worries, making it hard to breathe, hard to focus, hard to find peace. It creeps into my dreams, turning them into nightmares, where I'm always falling, always alone, but I push back.
Our next reader is Elizabeth Stewart.
Scars of remembrance. You're holding a shard of glass, blood dripping down your palm. It's been there for a while. You've forgotten how it was before, The incisions slowly left scars, leaving lasting marks. But even after I let go, and the glass turns soft from the sea, the scars still stay. They'll always stay, no matter how hard you try to forget. Sometimes you can't forgive. The scars still burn, the pain still stings. Sometimes you need your own time to heal.
Our next reader is Estelle Bulova.
The Importance of Fire by Estelle Bulova. The important thing about fire is that it feeds off of oxygen like a wild animal as it devours its prey. The warm sensation from the flames feels delightful on your hands and your face, sometimes used in very bad ways, but others in pleasure. Fire is two-faced and has the power to provide and to take away. It stares at you with a bright blue eye that stays at the bottom. You may not see it at first, but it lingers in the eye. When smelling the familiar scent of fire, you have the sensation of feeling cozy and safe. You can hear the crackle one after another, and when you put your hands close, you have the delicate feeling of warmth. The most important part of fire is the warmth, the colors, the crackling, and the way it affects a room.
Our next reader is Noelle Shestak.
I Still Feel Fear by Noelle Shestak. I walk down the hall, big bad spiders on the wall. I still feel fear. Shadows on the ground, producing a loud sound. I still feel fear. Cities full of people make me want to scream. I just want to crawl away and dream. I still feel fear. Candles flicker out. Darkness pulls me down. I don't want fright. I just want light. I still feel fear. Getting older, moving away. I just want to be with my family, as we are today. I still feel fear. Messing up, falling down, doing something wrong. I don't want to stand out. I just want to belong. I still feel fear. Fear will pull you down, twist you all around. But fear can make you careful, grateful, and aware. Fill you with love that you just want to share. I still feel fear, but I know that's who I am.
Our last reader in this group is Taya Prishlin.
My poem is called My Bumblebee. My bumblebee, striped so bold, her head held high, so many stories to be told. My bumblebee, fuzzy and plump, a joyful smile on her face. You can get with one high, it reaches the sky. My bumblebee, joyful and full of glee, always happy to see me. My bumblebee seems to be made just for me, because she's my best friend, you see. This little bumblebee, in any way that you see, is perfect just for me.
Okay, they're sixth graders. How amazing. Give them another round of applause. Huh? They were fearless. And we're going to bring up group 2. Come on up, folks.
Hello, I'm Lisa Ramos-Hilligers, and we have some more 6th graders and 8th graders from Homix. I also wanted to add that I love my job. And, I really respect students for just taking risks and playing with words and having a lot of fun with poetry. So our first reader will be Scarlett Stiakis.
I'm still waiting. Frosty breeze throughout the trees, I'm still waiting. Voices echo across the snow, I'm still waiting. No sound to be heard, quiet are the birds, I'm still waiting. The letter in the mail, faces went pale, I'm still waiting. I shout to keep them out, I scream boo just for you. I put up walls, stand them tall, I won't stay unless they go away, I'm still waiting. Every call makes me feel small, I'm still waiting. Sunny air, flowers blooming everywhere, yet I'm still waiting. That new year where I tremble with fear, my eyes near with tears, I'm still waiting. Don't leave me here, depressed and alone. Want me to wait? You'll have to come home. I've got the picture of you in my wallet. I can reach it anytime I want it. I'm still waiting for you, for you. I'm still waiting for you.
Next, we'll hear from Abigail Sample.
Little light, through the night, you shine so bright in the dark. You have a luminous glow, twirling around the sky ever so slow. Some days you shine bright and full, but other days I don't see you at all. We look at you and celebrate your radiance, but one thing is true, we will never take you for granted. Little light, you are working hard. You are never lazy, even if you sometimes get hazy. You fill me with a feeling of bliss, even when you are enveloped by mist. Little light, you get things done. Even when it's hard, you carry on. And it makes me want to croon when I'm at the beach looking at the moon.
Our next reader is Arabelle Hackett.
I Explore by Arabelle Hackett. I have found my missing brother. I have sailed across the world. I have found another continent as I sat here in this room. I have spoken to snakes. I have been saved by poison. I have searched for the truth as I sat here in this room. I have been trapped in a body cast. I have been to the oldest of lands, through the harshest of seas, as I sat here in this room. I have swam with sharks. I have battled the pure ones beside Soren. I have been shunned for my powers. I have been ignored. I am a reader. I explore.
Our next reader is Kira Rosalie Long.
Helping Won't Hurt by Kira Rosalie Long. The guy on the streets, he tells a story so someone could help give him money. Is it true? Is it false? Does he live on the streets trying to find an apartment? Background knowledge not in reach. I want to try to find it. To help, to care, to love and share. How to feel, I don't know. What to do, I'm not sure. Maybe help. Tell your parents to donate, maybe even you. Helping won't hurt, not even a little bruise.
Our next reader is Liam Orozco.
The name of my poem is Cages of Rage. Hate makes no gate. Build cages of rages. Tears bear stories. Stories bear tears. A blusterous gale, a generation's tale, a wistful wind from the shell. A dam breaks, the town shakes, a domino effect, to and fro. A gun has no pun. What's done is not fun. May this planet's last share of air be fairer than despair. Bound by pounds, hounded by sound, just as iron sharpens iron, action sharpens action. Look around, do so with great care. O the land of the free, ha, look at the greed. The meek become meeker, the weak become weaker. You cause spite, sometimes delight. You give us panic, the whiff of gambit. Deep in our heads, steadfast in bed, a shrewish voice nags of the choices not chosen. A toxic rove, a bullet hole, a lonely child, a shout, a pout. Your presence evokes tears. Oh dear fear, you're always near.
Our next reader is Marissa Lord.
My poem is called The Worries Were Quiet and the World Was Calm. The songs were loud and the world was calm. The girl became the camp and the camp became her. Days were conscious of being numbered. The memories were loud and the world was calm. Nights were spent as if there was no tomorrow, except in a few weeks they would all be gone. Wanted to stay, wanted the summer to never end. The camper to the place that had become her second home. Those summer sunsets like a perfection of thought. The worries were quiet because they had to be. The quiet was part of the meaning, part of the mind, the access of the love to the heart. And the world was calm. The truth in her calm world in which there is no other place to be but here. At camp, she's calm. She becomes those summer days. At her second home itself is the girl who never really wants to leave.
Our next reader is R.E.K.
This poem is Trinity. 5:10 Mountain Standard Time. So it began, a countdown to what might be the end, to what might release an untamable beast. Chances of failure are close to zero. Chaos could be waiting at the end. 5:29 Mountain Standard Time. There it was, boom. The light was blinding, a burning pillar shooting for the stars, punching a hole in the clouds, shaking the earth below it. Through the looking glass they saw it, a destroyer created. This poem is based upon the events of the Trinity test. For those of you who don't know, it was the first detonation of an atomic weapon. It took place on July 16, 1945 in Ordana de Muerto, New Mexico. The staff that had helped with the creation of the bomb were able to view the explosion from a safe distance, but were only able to look through a welder's glass to protect them from the extremely bright light. In the end, it was a success. Less than a month later, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on both Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, causing devastating consequences. Thank you.
Our next reader is Noble Weaver.
My poem is titled Feelings. Like a wheel on the spin, those are my emotions. Pick a random one, and then it is done. I wake up in the morning with a random feeling, and as I live out that day, the feeling does not fade away. Back in the day, when I only laughed and played, that wheel only chose awesome and happy every day. But once in the 6th grade, the wheel got some aid from sadness and pain. Then sometimes I wake up and loneliness and sadness just seem to reign all day. Sometimes it's bad and sometimes it's pain, but one day I learned I can re-roll that wheel and then be okay.
Our Our next reader is Kayla Garcia.
My mind is a paintbrush drawing endless pictures of you and the way you care about me. Our love is the paint that my mind dips into to draw these flawless portraits of you and I together. Setting after setting, each one is as beautiful as the last, and as each one is made, it improves over the one before it. With time passing ever so quickly, more and more pre-made, as it causes me to wonder if the paint will ever run dry. And just as I think about it, my mind draws another portrait of you and I, and at last, yet another masterpiece, The Art of Love.
The next reader is Lucas Garcia.
The name of my poem is My Dream. Last night, when I went to bed, I had a lovely dream, a candy world with candy friends and a candy village, it seemed. There were houses upon houses galore. There was even a campfire with, you guessed it, a s'more. We had a big feast, a candy steak on my plate, but my mom was there to make sure I was not to be late. My mom brought me back. She said, "You have a test today." The look on my face was filled with dismay. My ears, eyes, and face were filled with steam. My day had been ruined by being woken from my dream. Thank you.
The next reader is Alyssa Tahira.
"365 by Alyssa Tahira. I possessed it, the complete collection, kept going till nothing was left behind. All of my wants were underneath my chin, yet looking down, the value made me blind. It had blocked my view to priorities. It robbed me. It stole from my heart and my soul. It can make you calm where conspiracies. The fool had fallen down the rabbit hole. I had what I wanted except for care. The only thing I needed was not mine. Depression was the life I had to bear. The real definition they forgot to define. I should have asked myself, is money love? Did I need so much? Would I still be above?
That's the elevator music in between each school. So you know we have another school coming up. And that's Fox Lane High School, and I'm the teacher. Come on up, guys. Now, this was spring break week, right, of all weeks. I was even afraid to ask if any of my poets would be willing to come during their spring break. It's the last day of our spring break. And some of them were able to make it, so thank you guys. 6 of my 8 poets are here today. All right. Now, I know you have your own copies, but I will leave the page open in case you prefer. So we're going to start with Rachel Agnello.
My poem is called The Letters. Up the stairs in a forsaken realm, withered hands trace dusty contours. To halcyon days she opens doors. Passable her life would have been if the letters she had not seen. If the letters she had not seen, free of ash-stained palms, she'd be clean. A tapestry of longing woven in the addict's tale of a quest for lost treasure, a sea to sail. A quest for lost treasure, a sea to sail. She never wrote back, the adventure bailed. If only she'd written back to him, perhaps more flare to these lights so dim. Perhaps more flare to these lights so dim, if youth's cup she'd filled to the brim. In shades of gray, a dance of memories veiled. Ink-stained paper, cradled in hands grown frail. Ink-stained paper, cradled in hands grown frail, a symphony of words untold she bewails. Gazing through the window where daylight wanes, she lingers in the yesteryears, childhood chains, up the stairs in a forsaken realm.
And next we have Nadia Kreiner.
My poem is called That Boy in the Photo. Do I miss you? Yes or no? I don't think I do. At least not the you I know. I miss that boy in the photo, not the brother who went to college in Ohio. I wish I could have met him, met you when you were like that, swaddled among a blanket, not a visible limb. I wish I could see more of your sleepy smile. An unmade bed, a mess on the floor. The rest of the jumbled mess fades into the photo's mat. All I see is you unbothered being looked at by more than one cat. Even then, you could sleep through anything. You were the eye the hurricane would bring. Just a bystander to a path of destruction. I know I pillaged your peace, but I wonder, do you regret our introduction? Was getting away from me what gave your life a new lease? I'm sorry I took up all the space, but still, I only regret not seeing that face. The boy who had yet to be let down, the one who was never inspired to frown, the one with that blissful glow, that boy in the photo.
A number of the poems were inspired by family photos, as you can probably start to hear. So our next poet is Olivia Eckert.
My poem is named The Changes of Time. Sunrise. Soft sunlight streams through, warming the room with spring.
I don't know what the audio problem is, but let's start again.
Oh, okay. Sorry. To repeat, my poem is named The Changes of Time. Sunrise. Soft sunlight streams through, warming the room with spring. Somewhere, a morning bird starts her soliloquy. Two girls aged 2 and 5, photographed by their parents who were still together at the time. The littler one, with a beaming smile across her face, clutches her sister's arm wrapped around her, too young to know the change that is about to come. The older one, ever insightful, I think, smiles back for her sister's sake. She is burdened with knowledge. She aims to protect her sister's innocence. But ignoring problems gets one so far, as months later the girls see their father wheel out of the driveway in a moving truck. Their mother shuts herself in her room and cries. They do not know what to do except turn to each other for comfort. Another photograph, 2 girls aged 14 and 17. The younger one's hair has grown out, the older one has grown tall. The photographer, their mother, watches with pride as her daughters blossom, like a lioness seeing her cubs strike for the first time. Time passes as it often does. The younger one watches her sister grow into a swan while thinking she is stuck as an ugly duckling. Textbook sisterhood, both want what the other has, and this will never change. Between arguments, the two rely on each other for friendship, solace, love, and understanding. Heartbreaks, insecurities, academic strife define their lives as young women. Still, they are each other's person. When the older one moves away to college, the younger one often lies awake at night, staring upwards toward the ceiling, which has now replaced the sight of the bottom of her sister's top bunk. She would look at its underside for reassurance that her sister was there, right above her. Now, miles separate the two. No longer could the older one look down at her pretending to be sleeping sister, who couldn't contain her laughter when she knew her sister was there, waiting for her to open her eyes. Now, it's hard to call anywhere a home if she and her sister were not together. I resign to a large armchair, hoping to garner a peace of mind. The last photo I pick up, my sister's wedding. I am not in this picture. My older sister, in a big white poofy dress, is photographed with her now husband. I was her maid of honor, a sister's duty. My mother walked her down the aisle. All 3 of us cried. My sister was crying out of love and joy, my mother from pride, me because I knew that I was losing her. This time, I'm the protector. I protect my sister from my feelings of insurmountable loss that result from growing up and growing apart. We are much older now. No more can we break down and cry in the arms of a mother or a sister. We must gather strength from within, allow others to lean on us when necessary, allow ourselves to become matriarchs of the family when our mother retires underground, allow ourselves only the night among darkness to stare up toward the ceiling or to wish to be able to look down beneath where we sleep, longing for a familiar sight, a familiar face, a familiar smile, a familiar pair of eyes so that we can remind ourselves we're going to be okay. The morning bird has called it a day. The sunlight has turned to dusk, the springtime warmth to a chill. The trees sigh with age, and the flowers on the windowsill have begun to wilt. The clock on the wall ticks on as if tired, while the mirror to the right of it grows foggy. The ring on my finger has rusted, and the insurmountable pain I'd once felt has lessened as time continues to pass, as it so often does. Thank you.
And next we have Liliana Kimball.
My poem is titled, You Look Just Like Her. Looking at the photo, I just don't see it. It's my parents and their two rather enthusiastic dogs, standing in the scorching sun on the porch of their very first house, a condo in Dallas. My mom's hair sits neatly on her shoulders, effortlessly styled at any moment. Her kind smile stands out from the dark curls, the one I'm sure her students see every day. I know a lot from my mom. She is why I love car rides home, why I love cats and sweets, why I know how to bake, clean, and read. But I still don't get it. My hair never sits straight, and my crooked smile remains stuck behind my quick impatience. So how do I still hear the same thing? You look so much like your mother. Yet I could never work as hard, never achieve as much, never be as understanding. Will it ever be true?
And next we have Jacob Lerner.
It's a bitter cold December day where I meet you. Smooth granite dressed with a wreath look back at me. Propped up against the fine polished wall, your memory reads, as always, Edna D. In a collage you stand across the world, in the warmth of the Mexican coast, in the serenity of a Chinese tea shop, in the royalty of the Colosseum, in the luxury of the Copa, monuments to moments I never saw. You stand proud, with the perfect posture you instilled in my mother, with a white suit finely pressed, makeup done up to look like Elizabeth Taylor. To me, Edna D never stood. An old couch is where I knew Grandma Edna, cluttered with memories that I never asked about, a proudness that I never noticed. So here I stand with a you I never knew, and now Grandma Edna doesn't feel quite right for you. What fits best is, as always, Edna D.
And next we have Fatima Nahera Lemieux.
This is my poem called Him. I don't believe I'm his beloved child. I am not the one to believe. He loves me, yet he disagrees with me. He's my liberty, yet my savior of life. He began my life, and he can end it at once. With a mouth tied to his wrist, filled with blood he names wine. Why has he forsaken me? Did he forget me? I am no angel, nor am I one of hell. I would love to be free without his guilt on me. I can no longer repent when I become the one he so-called regretted.
Thank you guys. You can head out this day. You were awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I'm sorry for the technical issues happening with the microphone, but you guys kept it together. And by the way, you have a great cheering front row. I'm watching their faces, but the poets in the front row are like snapping, and they're when they hear a line they really love. So don't be nervous when you come up because you're feeling the love in the front. And you know, honestly, find your people, right? So you've got support in the front row. So to all of our writers out there, find your people, find your support group, whether it's going to the open mic and having that crew with you, whether it's this kid sitting next to you right now, elbow to elbow, whether it's a creative writing club, a writing retreat weekend like Fox Lane tries to do every year. Find your people, and you got a lot of them right here supporting you. So for our next group, we have Mamaroneck High School, Maria Fairbairn, Christine Prezioso, Jennifer Spellman, Juliana Zalana, and they'll be introducing their students. Come on up.
Hello, I'm Maria Fairbairn, and I have some AP Lit students who are going to be reading their poems, and you should be able to hear some author call-outs in some of them. So first person is Chloe Glazer.
Mourning doves as a fractured memory. Simple walks are often more transcendental, a 19th century movement of writers and philosophers in New England who were than photo albums. They're too robust, too structured and objective. Remember this at X time and Z place with ABC people and 1, 2 emotions, y equals x squared plus 2z minus 6z. Remember? The natural world is much too fragile for that. As you place one foot down, cracked sidewalks like spines with washed away chalk, COCO3, potholes, puddles, and ducky boots, the wind whirls and the world aligns, scents of flowering blooms and cicadas crescendo from their balconies, crickets murmur, bees hum lightly, a cacophonous chorus, alliteration, maybe juxtaposition, and that one bird we all know, Zenaida macrora, sends a lulling coo into the sky, and the sunlight is flitting through the clouds, the soft beams of identified flying objects, UAPs now, twirling lightly in their orbits of FG equals GM1, M2 all over R squared. The world is reversed, spinning so fast back on its axis, 23.5 degrees. You are hurled backwards along a shimmering string of coincidences and calibration. The world was so delicate then. It seemed fortified in imagination and blankets and band-aids, but it was fragile, interlacing its flimsy fingers through the grooves of an overworked brain, flinching back or brushed aside, shriveled in the pervasive heat and skewering cold. Spring is gone, and all that is left, all we have left, wispy spiderwebs in the breeze, stronger than steel and yet torn apart by grubby hands stained with No. 2 pencil lead.
Sorry. Up next is Scotia Kuriloff, who's back for a second year.
An afternoon walk. The children have a map, hand in hand, skipping through wood factory pavement, shoeless on the hottest day of the year, the heat sweltering, smothering the hope of a better tomorrow, believing behind a suspenseful humidity. When they find their dead body, they will look for the heart. The heart is supposed to be the most expensive part, after all. Pitter-patter, they look down at their own heart, a constant metronome. They do not yet know how to silence it, how to make it stop completely. When they learn, perhaps they will miss their steady companion. Will the heart of the body be something we can sell? That's right, isn't it supposed to be fresh? Shh, Frankenstein. That's true. Frankenstein. Frankenstein was made of spare parts. Frankenstein didn't have a bedtime. Frankenstein could buy as many gumballs as he liked. 25 cents per gumball. 7 colors. If everyone gets one of each color, that is 28 gumballs. $7. Too lofty a sum. That is not even taking into account how there may be repeats. Yes, repeats. Nobody needs 2 gumballs. Yes, they should probably plan on $13. Much more reasonable. Aren't a dead person's eyes kind of like gumballs? The old man on the corner waves. They probably cost less. They have no use if they aren't seeing things. Hey, maybe we can find a couple dead bodies and sell their eyes. The eyes must be beautiful. Why eyes? No need to rip into a greasy stomach for a gray dead thing. The children learned in science class that hearts are not what they were told. This is a disappointment of immeasurable merit. Never again will one of them doodle hearts in her notebook. She will always think of the fatty parasite in her chest, drinking her blood, changing her insides. The others will forget the science lesson someday. She'll be forced to bear the burden of this knowledge alone, growing from attentive student to mediocre secretary, never quite at peace, the knocking coming from inside a traitorous house to an organ she can no longer faithfully claim. What if instead of a heart, we sell all of the dead person's teeth? The teeth? Why the teeth? The tooth fairy gives me $5 per tooth. If we get like 40, then $500, that's a lot of gumballs. If we had $500, then we'd each get over 30 gumballs. But where do we find the tooth fairy? Under my pillow, duh, we'll set up a trap. When we get in trouble, with who, the tooth police? We can capture the tooth fairy. The boy has a secret. He's been pulling out his baby teeth one per night. Yank, yank, pop. He doesn't want to be a baby anymore. He's practically a grown-up. At night, he closes his eyes, his mouth a stringy, bloody mess, and he dreams of the tooth fairy. Though when he wakes up, he doesn't find his new, freshly printed $5 bill until he looks inside Mom's withering wallet. The silly fairy hasn't realized where to put his money yet. The other children walk hand in hand, the shorter on the left, the taller on the right, stuck in an eternal step, step, step. As the first foot falls, the second sneakered foot lifts, just off. The left one is in love with the right one, naturally. It is always the duty of the left to submit to the right. Left hands are taped to desks, turning left on the 13th Street is bad luck, so the left pines for the right. A moon deprived of a sun, souring as the days go by. Her spirits darken when she hears the voices of the others. The moon will never shine like the stars, and yet she tries, allowing her large eyes to widen, to feign interest. Her best quality is her eyes. That's what Wright thinks. Many people would die to have eyes like hers. If they were to sell the eyes of the body, the price would be nothing close to the price of her own. She turns to Wright. Hey, we could sell my eyes. Your eyes? They're gorgeous, they're shining, they're lovely, they're superb, they're perfect. I have very nice eyes. I thought we'd sell teeth. More money? I wasn't talking to you. Okay, let's get a rock. Hey, isn't that a bit gross? And a dead body isn't? Once you take my eyes, we can stick gumballs in their place. What colors? Blue like the sun, green like an emerald. It will be done. Wright's lungs are constricting. In and out, speeding like the passing cars. He has never been so excited. His lungs can barely take his heightened spirits. So long he has been trapped in monotony, so long he has had to wake up and be a child. He would pull out his lungs and eat them if it meant he felt the pain. If he's honest, he doesn't care about the gumball colors. He cares about logic. He cares about experience. If 4 children search for a body, will they find one? Logically, no. But experience tells a different tale. If 4 children search for a body, will they create one? Each round prize will be worth millions if they achieve it in a way the adults would never expect. In and out, he can barely breathe. Next expedition, perhaps he will offer up his own lungs. An unimaginable sensation. Come over here, I found a rock. Please don't tell my mother I was here. Shut up, the gumballs will make it all perfect. Please don't tell my father this was my idea. If I tell teacher we did this experiment, will we get in trouble? I'm kind of scared. I'm really scared. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm not scared at all, I'm happy. What? My lovely eyes will be of use. You truly did have lovely eyes. Goodbye? Bye. Goodbye. I love you. Ew. I love you too.
And last of my people is Sadie Yoder, who will be reading her Hands Right, Thoughts Speak, which was inspired by the importance of being earnest.
Sorry. I am right-handed. My right hand is covered in blisters and bumps, and it's dry. Sometimes it shakes. My left hand is untouched, unscathed, twirling golden locks, threading fibers between fingers. I journal thoughts that I excavate from my innermost desires. Child, they must think, as I come up for air with fingertips covered in ink. This is why I'm training my left hand. I want to write twice as much. I want to double my dreams. I want to sit in my own puddle and wish for lily pads to carry me across. I am safe within my cocoon of ink so black it stains my best satin. My thoughts act as blankets, words act like pillows, punctuation becoming my smelling salts, and fantasy becoming fantastically real. Journaling, carrying a diary, it's not an escape of any sort. I still wake to bluebirds and splatter purple over my face from grape-flavored jam. It's so easy to dive back into my pages, so easy to jot down my thoughts, and so hard when the person I've been writing about actually proposes to me, just not 3 months ago. What then? What then when everything I've been writing becomes true? Do I still need my diary? Should I still dream? Or are my hands finally silent? Satin, pristine, my capital letters, once the capital of my city, broken. My heart beats once again, breath flows freely, memories, my only diary.
Our next reader is Rain DeMacy.
The power of emotions. My love for you is old. It is a love that echoes in the memories of the past, in the fleeting glimpses of the life we once led. In the memories of the past, it thrives, a flame that flickers but never dies. Like an ancient oak, its roots deeply embedded in the soil of my soul. My hate for you is young. It is a hate that ignites in the cruelty of the present, in the period of misery by the actions you commit. In the cruelty of the present, there is a fiery blaze. Ignited by the hate you display, it rages with fierce might, a storm of resentment, dark as the night. Amidst the love and hate, I weave a complex dance, navigating through the emotions intertwined, seeking a reprieve. Caught in the tangled web of emotions at play, navigating the treacherous waters of the heart, seeking solace, a momentary respite from the dark. But in the depths of my heart, love and hate coexist, a reminder of true humanity and the power of emotions that we cannot resist.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege and honor to introduce Toby Werner.
The end. I sit as the trees shed their leaves, and the neighborhood screams, and the casualties make me wait for your return home to me. When the blood licks the sea, I don't cry nor I plea, I sit silently. I wait in the ash and the dark while I write, and the crimson explosions are blindingly bright, and I sit all alone while I think it's all right that the world will be gone by the end of the night, so long as you greet me by holding me tight. You are all that is left in my mind. My instincts of fear are shut down, confined. As the blazing horizon takes life from my view, all that I can think of is you. Come home. I can't die here alone.
Next up, we have Madison Laura.
My people, my words. Straight lights reflecting on the white snow as I reflect on this fresh start. A new place with a clean slate and a quiet town with a loud mind. Hiding behind the new style, new hair, new words. I miss familiarity. Going outside and not fearing judgy eyes, I contradict myself. I always run towards changing tides, though still waters scare me. At least that city was mine. My people, my words. What I wear doesn't matter, what I say isn't well rehearsed. My people, my words. The merengue playing in the cars driving by. Mom's annoyed, but I don't mind. Parties on the streets, even on weeknights. My people, my words. But now, tormented by guilt for erasing my curls with the heat of Eurocentric beauty and feeling prettier. For not knowing my language, for calling out grandma instead of abuela, and auntie instead of titi, uncle instead of tío. I didn't even know the English word for sala until age 9, yet I'm stuck in this place between the lines. My people, my word. But over that mountain of guilt, I know this new hair, this new style, these new words will never erase my home. I will not fail my people. I will use my words.
Our final poet today is Cara Sammartano.
You fill the galaxy of who I never was, flooding my shy timidness with your bold insistence your existence was a new beginning, to right all of my wrongs and to be what I could not. You love to twirl about, your graceful movements sharp and precise. I quit ballet within a few months. Your favorite color is a bold greenish teal, aggressive and distinctive, real and exact. Mine was always a subtle lavender purple, quiet, boring, and calm. My eyes and yours were made in the same image. The gaps in your skull still reflect the soft lake blues of our grandmother's pond, while mine have since dulled to reflect a murky shade of storm clouds above the water. Our hair, though mine carefully coated in a swamp of violet and pink hues, shares the same golden spin underneath, that familiar graham cracker gold framing your face far better than it ever had mine. Despite my role as lab rat, my cage rageful and strong, I have since accepted the place in the grand scheme of our family's testing lab, because the tales of my tortures, my failures, my flaws led to you. You, my spontaneous and ferocious wildebeest, are the glory to my lackluster and the stars in my void of empty infinity.
Mamaroneck, good job. Awesome. I'm impressed. All right, next we have Westlake High School. Teacher is Chris DiPolito.
Hello, everybody. It's an honor for us to be here. We have a collection of my students from both English Honor Society and our creative writing class. The first poem that we have today is by Elise Hurtis, and I just want to show everybody, because a lot of you can't see this, but we were playing around with form in my creative writing class, so this is Elise's poem. I just want to make sure that we give her credit for that. Elise?
The title of my poem is Voicemail. I have to read off my phone because you can't read it. There, so,
It's right there.
Oh, it's right there? Never mind. It's called Voicemail. Hi, I just called because I wanted to talk to you, but you don't want to do that, obviously, so I'll just talk and you can listen like you always do, okay? Because sometimes when I get too inside my head and I can't think straight and all I see is you, I wish you would love me more like I love you, like a friend, of course, but like I just love being with you and hanging out, but you always make me smile, and I really wish you could understand that this isn't something I take lightly. I don't just pick the first person I see and decide to be friends. But it feels like you just keep me at arm's length, and I wish I mattered to... Hello? Oh, I always talk for too long.
Finding the poem here. Here it is. Next, we have Sean Samoyedny and Juliana Malai.
Do you want me to introduce it? The title of the poem is Nuclear Family. I can't even imagine anyone wanting a son.
I can't even imagine what it's like to have a mom.
Clouds of dust burst as a truck passes down the winding road. I light up a cigarette, and the flame burns my nail.
No one tell me study for this test. I know that I'm bound to fail. Dad's working the late shift, dinner in fridge, on a yellow post-it.
Taking puffs and spitting coughs. This is killing me, everyone knows it. Those rip-off phone numbers from flyers for jobs fill my pockets. I'm low on cash.
Maybe I'll call later.
Dad can barely cover the bills, so I took a job as a waiter. In this life, it really kills to don a blue collar.
I reach to my back pocket and find a blue dollar, blue from my wrinkled jeans and that beat-up laundromat washer.
The nuclear family, son, mother, and father. I watched mine explode right before my eyes. Where are you going?
Out for a cigarette.
And just like that, my family ended.
Why is that the same thing?
Next, we have Danielle Mata.
My poem is called Being a Student. Being a student means more than just going to school. It means learning. It means being respectful. It means communicating. It also means being overwhelmed, being weighed down by more work than my teachers can grade, doing everything. It means understanding that some teachers care and others don't. Work is due, get it done no matter what, even if it means an unhealthy amount of sleep or stress. After all, we take on the classes and extracurriculars. We have to handle it. It means being attentive and cheerful. It means not questioning why. Why is this work needed? Why is this helpful? Why am I going to need this? It means accepting. Accepting the work given, even if it weighs down our lives like it weighs down our bags. Accepting that this is how it is for most, if not all.
Next is Alyssa Ochogrosi.
This poem is called A Siren's Cry. Across the river, by the water, there is a girl who waits forever. A few good men come by each day and hurry past the place she lay. Birds and fish, her only friends, she stays with them until day's end. She watches the sky where the sun turns to moon. While birds are free, she's left in gloom. Most of the animals leave her behind to sit and wallow in her pitiful mind. She thinks up dreams, if only true, stuck in reality, stuck like glue. Through the woods, a few miles north, a village boy, tired and worn, he ventures off to the river, a place away full of critters. He is not aware what lies ahead, a lonely girl by the riverbed. From a distance, he hears her cry, a pleasing melody he could not pass by. He wandered into her call, saw her face, her figure tall. She lured him there, a mysterious prize, a siren's wail, his poor demise.
Our next reader is Ava Shim.
Oops. Oh no. Cool. My poem's title is Fluttering Fairies. As I travel westward from the east, I see flowery, feathery, fluttering fairies floating down the road. Frolicking about to my feet in waves, little cotton balls bouncing around. They have soft, pudgy peach bodies with small petals in pastel. On each of their little backs is fluffy down of angel wings. Too small to fly, and yet they did. Then more flow down and play and laugh and carry little trinkets of beads, of breadcrumbs, of candy wrappers, of teaspoons, of special socks. One flies up to my open palm, fumbles and crawls and waddles around and points to the horizon behind me. The fairies flow down the street, down to the horizon east beyond my back, backwards, behind growing smaller and fading away. I follow the sun as it follows time, which itself cannot turn back, so I continue west as the last of the flowery, feathery, fluttering fairies go, floating down to the gone memory of the rising sun. Away, away goes my youth.
And our final reader for today is Emma DeLuise.
I wanted to write an ode to all the unbeautiful things. I wanted to tell you about the serenity in darkness, the quiet sharpness of the cold, the protection offered by a rose's thorn. I wanted to tell you about the loons and their association with horror. I wanted to tell you that they make that sound to find other loons. They make that noise to be found. I wanted to share with you the brilliance of a rainy day, the way the forest must empty when all the animals seek shelter, and how the pounding droplets draw earthworms into the light. I wanted you to know that the common crow is one of the most intelligent animals in the world, that spiders present their partners with gifts and serenade each other with dances, and that you are more likely to see a rainbow when it's foggy. I wanted to write an ode to all the unbeautiful things and tell you how each one of them flourishes in its lack of appeal. But it's proving difficult to find the words to make these things that sound ugly. I believe the misconstrued reality is that there are no unbeautiful things. Maybe these things will always be destined to find themselves at the beginning of a somber poem or a haunting novel, but my perception is that these are just the unfortunate bunch destined to be the ugly side of beautiful.
Thank you, Westlake. Our last school is our newbie, our new school, Scarsdale Middle School. And the teachers are, let's see, Rebecca Streeter. I want to know which one was a student and actually read up here, because I was probably up at the mic and I'm feeling really old. Let's see, Rebecca Streeter is one of the teachers, and Tracy Castaldo, come on up, Frankie Hughes, and Megan Roche. Who was the teacher that was? Oh, okay, I don't feel as old. Thank you thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Streeter. I'm very fortunate to have been involved with Poetry Live for about 5 years. I taught at the Hommocks Middle School, so nice to see familiar faces in the audience, and especially to see high schoolers who I had in my own 7th grade classroom. It all comes full circle. It's wonderful to see you all here. So we all know what a beautiful special event this is, and in my first year at SMS, I felt it necessary, and I'm so humbled and privileged to have the opportunity to bring SMS to Poetry Live, and I just want to shout out Frankie, Megan, Tracy for trusting and believing and getting your kiddos involved, and mostly this incredible group of students who took a risk and are leaders, and I know paving the way to make this a tradition at SMS for years to come, so we're very happy to be here. First today, we're going to hear from Eliza Fishman.
A Teenage Girl's Truth versus Reality by Eliza Fishman. Exclude, not include. That's their motto. Try to improve is what they say. You're not good enough. But trying to be nice is too tough. Sometimes it feels like you're a diamond in the rough. Nowhere to turn to, no place to go, no one to trust, and no one to show who you really are without cutting you deeper and hurting your old scars, leaving you alone in the dark. With some bad personality, they try to say all your flaws cause their problems, all your negativity makes you a bully, a manipulator, a traitor, and a see you later kind of friend. Avoided or tried to, betrayed and got lied to. But that's no excuse for something that you did, for trying to get rid of the person I already was. From playing with an egg to breaking it is the difference between a ball and a bomb. Trying to find the differences in me is something you'll never see. My personality, and even if it's brutal, Trying to see the differences in me is something you'll never find, something I'll never leave behind. My personality, and even if it's brutal, it's something that is crucial to know. You can't just go and try to break the perfect picture frame by calling somebody insane. Fine, take that kind of train to the station. One day you'll look at yourself and feel a sense of humiliation, taken from all the old wounds you told me about, leaving me scarred with a broken heart, screaming, saying I need rain in a drought. Because waiting for you to change is never going to happen. It's like opposites attract, but without any attraction. You try to show how you've tried to become a better person deep down inside. You find that tear in the clouds of your dry and dripping eyes. Like rain, one drop starts, then tears flood your eyes. Trying to understand life's surprises, how you think you can feel safe in somebody's embrace, how you can feel warm and safe, like there's no attack. Then someone stabs you in the back. They take a secret from your past, or something that will always last. Then they ruin you and ruin me, like a different kind of empathy. You tried to understand me, but you couldn't, because you have a different kind of view. All you see is new. New me is nicer and better, less always nagging. But trying to be friends with her is like dragging nails on a chalkboard, says the girls who have knives and swords to stab you in the back. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliza. Next, we'll hear from Claire Friedman.
The fabric of our world has a gaping tear, shrugged at by a human race that doesn't care. This society needs stitches, not sympathy. Fear is the scissor that caused this incision, a deeply dark force at the heart of division. And now, this generation of screens and sorrow and not speaking faces a decision. To take up the torch and strive for peace, or to leave the world in pieces. To try and fix this fractured society, or to stand by as onlookers, indifferently, quietly. Everything changes so quickly. Cities built from the ground, ambitions burn down, but one thing never does. The only way a change can be made is if someone does. Not by sitting in our kitchens and lamenting the problems and our lack of passion, not by crying in confusion about the inevitable inequities that we see around us, but by standing up, prepared to do what we can, not to fix the world, but to extend a hand, offering our honor-bound arms to work for something greater than ourselves. All our ripped world needs is time and care. So let's build a castle of compassion and look up from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Next, we'll hear from Samantha Kivert.
When you were younger, you almost always had fun. Sad to go to sleep, excited to see the sun. Recess at 12, playing with your friends. Oh, what a blast that was. I wish I could do it again. When you got home from school, you grabbed a snack, ate, then put on the lid. You did your homework, putting ink down like a squid. You did this because you craved to go outside, just like an equestrian craving to give their horse a ride. But homework had your hands tightly tied. You played with almost every neighborhood kid. Everyone but one, the seeker, went and hid. When you skipped, there was no worry of work. Now when you skip, you can always feel it lurk. We will always miss being younger, with so much less stress. But we have to live in the present, and all we can do is try our best. My poem is thinking about then. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammy. And next we'll hear from Akil Schembaker.
Hi, I'm Akil Schembaker, and this is my poem, Rain. In a gentle whisper, raindrops fall. The mother of nature sounds a call. Cleansing the earth, refreshing my soul, this voice of purity takes control. In their presence, they sing a song, a symphony of life, loud and long, splashing on the pavement, a harmonical gray, a composition by nature to a good night and good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Akil. And last but certainly not least, we'll hear from Isabella Turner and Adina Zitrin.
So our poem's called A Winter Embrace. Snow, soft, sweet, beautiful without trying. Shh, the memories whisper at me. I'm pulled back in time.
Falling softly against the cold ground, missing the time of day that we used to play in any which way.
Carefree, didn't know we had responsibility.
The snow took care of our world. But soon it disappeared as our older years neared.
Polluting our happiness with floods and heat. There is no easy villain to defeat. We have our own Mount Everest to journey, and it may not have a summit, but we'll keep climbing to have you in our arms. A winter embrace. I am the pollution that causes illness and pain.
I am the pollution that lives in your mind, telling you not to care.
I grasp pieces of humanity while hope crashes and burns.
I am the pollution that says, throw it in the trash. It won't make a difference.
I'm just one person, lonely and afraid.
Strong and defiant.
We are the pollution together. It lives in all of us.
It is the king of our society. No matter what we do, we can't escape.
It's how we live.
It's a child needing scolding when it makes mistakes.
It's an earthquake. The most dangerous part are the aftershocks.
We may only have 1 ounce of control, but we are not helpless. We miss you, Snow. We wish you didn't have to go.
Maybe there's something we can do, but there's no way to start anew.
This may not be the first page,
or even the first chapter.
There's always more to write, to learn, to master. Even though our world isn't perfect, we don't have to give up or give in.
The light at the end of the tunnel is there, even if it's thin.
We didn't know the power in our own many hands. We didn't have the strength to worry about where the spinner would land. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I hope they come back next year. Thank you so much. So before I invite up our last 2 folks, students, congratulations, you're published. Yeah. So don't leave until you see your teacher, because each one of you will receive a publication and you'll find your poem in it. So that's pretty exciting. And that's one of the reasons your teachers are here on a Sunday, because they recognize how important it is. You were brave enough to be here, to show up, to write, to stand up here, which can be scary, even though I see friendly faces, but you're also published, and we need to have more opportunities for you to get up and read, have a voice in front of more than just the teacher, right? But more people than that. And so you have a big audience, you have your publication in hand, go forth and keep writing. So with that, let's see, we're going to invite up the co-chairs of Poetry Live. I can't thank them enough for inviting me back year after year, and that would be Jane Dorian and Marina Kiriakou. This and this and this. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So many things.
Yep,
All
yep,
right,
I can help
thank
and help
you.
carry.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. It's so wonderful to look at everyone from this vantage point and to just think about how wonderful this event was. These students, thank you, parents, for raising such wonderful poets. Let's give our parents a hand. And teachers.
Yeah, Jane and I have the privilege of being able to see your poetry beforehand as we get this anthology together. And I want to tell all of you that if there's any doubt about the importance of your presence and your speaking voice here, it is such a different experience to experience your poetry, to hear your voices, to really be present with you. And thank you so much for taking that next step. None of this would be possible without your teachers, and Jane and I are so thankful to all of you for not only coming out today on a Sunday and bringing all of you wonderful students here, but this process begins kind of in the fall. Like our first notes go out in October.
Yes.
It's a labor of love. So thank you all. Thank you and congratulations to our new laureates, Felicia and Melissa. It's a real generous grace to have poets in the room. All of you relatively new poets, maybe not all, some of you may have been doing it a long time, and are established poets, and all of us that are really in awe of your work and your courage. We have a few people to thank, and that is the Emmeline Theater. We love being here. So thank you for the sound, for this beautiful venue. LMC Media, if any of you want to see this event again, which I hope you will, or if family members or friends have missed it, it will be on lmcmedia.org and on
YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah. So anyway, you'll be able to get it. You can check in with your teachers about that. We'll send them the link if you can't find it. And Arborn Printing, they are wonderful in putting our anthology together, very patient as we make our way through changes and that kind of thing. So,
okay. So we are now at the point where we're going to do the raffle. So every year we have a couple things to raffle off. The bookstore in Larchmont, J. Anderson's, we have 2 gift cards to raffle off. And Liz is going to bring up, what we have is every one of your names in one of these baskets. Thank you, Liz. So if you notice, this one is labeled the middle school raffle, and that one the high school. So somebody from the middle school is going to win a gift certificate, and somebody from the high school. So if these are all your names in here, and we're going to mix it around. Do you want to, Liz?
I would
do
love
you
to.
want to? Okay, and you'll read the name. Okay,
The
here
bear of good
goes.
news.
We almost need a drum roll. All right. All right.
Our middle
Woo!
school raffle winner
Middle
is
school.
Abigail Sample.
Okay, where are you? You have to come up and get it. Okay.
There she is.
Yay! What school? What school is that? What school? Okay. Very good. All right, now
High school.
for the high school. Okay.
I'm going to need a little help with the pronunciation of this last name. Sean Samoyecheni.
Samoyechin. All right. Yay. What school is that? Sean, what school? What school? Okay. All right. So now, okay, we have one more thing to raffle off. The flowers. So we're going to do it again.
One of each.
One of each.
Okay.
So somebody is taking this home, this gorgeous. This
Parents
is
are gonna
from
be very
Arcadia Florist, right here in Mamaroneck. He did all the flowers, just gorgeous. So somebody will have this on their table tonight.
In
All
their
right.
living room.
Yeah, in their living room, in the dining room, I don't know. All right,
Should we do
so
one?
what are we doing? We're
We'll
doing,
do one from the middle school, one from the high school.
here's the, yeah.
All right, so we'll do
Here's
the middle school again.
like we did before.
Middle school parents are going to be very happy. Our middle school winner is Eliza Fishman. So should we just scoot
All
you
right.
in? Yeah.
Okay, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to wait until the end to give this to the person. Oh, wait, but so come meet us at the end so that, because this is heavy. All right, and now the high school?
The high school winner is Toby Werner.
All right, so Toby, meet us.
At the end.
Okay, meet us at the end. And we now have treat bags and gifts for the teachers. So Liz is going to, as I call your names, Liz is going to, you come up just over there. We're gonna cheer for the school though. So the first school is Rhinebeck. Let's hear it for Rhinebeck. Woo! Okay, and Jenny Thiel is coming up, and in that bag are all the anthologies. So every teacher is going to get an anthology for all your students. So at the end, you obviously meet with your teacher, get your anthology, and you could take photos outside with our photo board. Okay, so the next school is Westlake. Let's hear it for Westlake. Where's Chris DiPolito? Come on, okay. And Chris, same thing. You have your bag with all the goodies and a beautiful poetry book that the teachers are getting. Okay, let's hear it for the third school, Hammocks. Okay, Hammocks. And, okay, so Karen Kane, so put some in yours and then some in Lisa's, a lot in Lisa's, so they're very heavy. And then you'll distribute them to the other teachers. Okay, thank you. Next school is our own Diane Sarna, Fox Lane. All right, let's hear it for Fox Lane. Okay, Diane. Next school is Mamaroneck High School. Where are you? Okay, so Maria Fairbairn, I think I put almost all of the anthologies in your bag, so you'll, when you sort through everything, you'll figure out. And where, let's hear it for Scarsdale High School. I mean middle school, not high school yet, middle school. Okay, thank you, Scarsdale, and same thing, you have most of the things in one of the bags and you'll figure it out. So, Marina, is there anything else we have to do?
No, I don't think so.
Do we have to dismiss class now?
We hope to see you next year.
Yes.
Same time, April. We don't have a date yet, but you'll be hearing from us.
And we just love having you here, and we are so proud of the students, and we're so fortunate to have the Emlyn to host this and to have LMC produce it. We are really, really just so happy. And please come back next year. Okay.